Welcome to the Insider. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe, like, share, comment and click on the notification bell for soup-up news vibes. The Community Shield promised to be a tale of two new strikers, and it's precisely what it delivered as Liverpool defeated Manchester City to complete Jurgen Klopp's trophy collection. Darwin Núñez came off the bench to wrap up a 3-1 victory for the Reds. Erling Haaland, meanwhile, struggled to find his feet in his very own competitive debut. In the annual clash of the reigning Premier League champions and FA Cup holders, Liverpool started in the ascendancy, with the likes of Mo Salah and Jordan Henderson finding plenty of pleasure down their right flank. In a first half understandably full of misplaced passes, terrible touches and minor blips of concentration, the Reds struck through Trent Alexander-Arnold. He gave Liverpool a deserved lead with his effort from the right flank curling outwards onto the back post and in. The head of Nathan Ake glanced the ball on the way in, but the goal primarily came from both Alexander-Arnold and the man who assisted him, Salah, being given too much room to operate. In the second period, City gained a foothold and finally an equalizer, with Argentinian Julian Alvarez enjoying a dream begin to life at City with a debut goal. Phil Foden's first-time strike was parried by Adrian to Alvarez, who made no mistake with 20 minutes remaining, even if it needed the aid of VAR for an offside call to be overturned. Despite a short resurgence from Pep Guardiola's men in which they briefly threatened to turn the screw, Liverpool then wrestled back control. A header from Núñez struck the hand of Ruben Dias, with VAR once more called to action to award the spot kick. Salah stepped up and fired it low to Ederson's left. Núñez's head was set to play one more pivotal role, though, as he stooped low to finish off the curtain raiser in style. The centre forward had been cheered to the rafters all afternoon and loved his unique moment with the fans ripping off his shirt in celebration. Try debating the competitiveness of this game with him. After narrowly missing out on the title to City on the final day of last season and failing to win any of their last 5 Premier League games against the Citizens, Klopp's guys have set down an early marker in the subsequent chapter of this thrilling rivalry. All eyes were on Haaland, the barely believable 22-year-old whose physical presence will frighten many a centre-back this season. Neither Virgil van Dijk nor Joel Matip felt the fear in Leicester, though. He may well become the difference maker in a title race which will surely once more be determined by the best of margins, but Haaland will need time. This isn't a case of plonking a hulking striker into a system designed for an out-and-out number 9 and bombing balls towards him. The Norwegian seemed like he hadn't got to grips with Guardiola's system, understandably. At times, he didn't know whether or not to remain or go, with Kevin De Bruyne visibly exasperated on one occasion. Haaland was stuck in a no-man's land and failed to put himself about in a battle with Liverpool's backline. There were 2 moments in which he shrugged off Henderson and Andy Robertson with ease. But there's a long way to go with his movement and understanding alongside Jack Grealish, who was also terrible this evening, and Riyad Mahrez. He had one effort saved by Adrian in the opening period, sliding a left-footed effort on target after the aforementioned dispatching of Robertson. He followed it up moments later by snatching at a move in mid-air, letting a golden chance clip just before half-time. After the break, he again failed to get himself into the game, dealt with relative ease and overshadowed by substitutes Foden and Alvarez. His one big opportunity came in stoppage time, and though it wouldn't have altered the result, felt like a big even though it wouldn't have papered over the underlying issues and the overall performance, the mood could have been drastically changed. With Adrian already lying on the floor after saving a Foden effort, the ball fell to Haaland with the goal gaping. The former Borussia Dortmund man couldn't keep his effort down, hitting the bar and greeted by enormous laughter and cheers from the Merseyside fans. In his post-match press conference, with the faint sound of Liverpool players shouting "Ole" and banging makeshift drums a few rooms down, played down any worry. He had chances. He fought a lot. He made movements. It's good for him to understand, to see the reality of a new country. He has brilliant quality. He will do it. He has an exquisite sense. He's going to help us a lot. He was there, he had the chances. Full time, Liverpool win the 2022 Community Shield. Nunez falls to his knees in celebration as Klopp gets ready to lift a third trophy of the calendar year. 96th minutes, wow. Haaland has a wry smile on his face as he misses a near-open goal. Bearing down on net with Adrian already on the floor, after saving Foden's strike, Haaland hits the bar. A day to overlook for the new boy. 95th minutes, after an wonderful display, Salah departs the field for Curtis Jones. 94th minutes, goal. Nunez scores on his debut. The Uruguayan stoops low to head in and sealed the game. 3-1 to Liverpool. 92nd minutes, Haaland has the ball in the net, however it had definitely already long gone out of play before Foden hooked it back into the number 9 at the other end. Some short worry for the other star signing as Nunez goes down injured. 91st minutes, hope for City, as a 7-minute chunk of added time is announced. 90th minutes, another debut here, as Fabio Carvalho emerges from the Reds bench to replace Luis Diaz. 88th minutes, Robertson steams in to dispossess Bernardo Silva, but cannot keep his effort down. If there is another late purpose here, it appears to be Liverpool's. 86th minutes, the Reds are on the up again, as Salah torments Cancelo once more before eventually Elliott plays in Keita, whose effort is saved. From the resulting corner, Nunez's header goes wide. 85th minutes, Naby Keita replaces Thiago, who has been fantastic this evening. 83rd minutes, goal. Liverpool are back in front, as Salah puts the penalty low to Ederson's left corner and just past the Brazilian, who dived the right way. 2-1. 82nd minutes, penalty. Decision overturned, and Salah has a chance to get off the mark from the spot. 81st minutes, we're now going to VAR for the possible penalty. 80th minutes, Nunez has a header which honestly strikes the hand of Diaz, but howls of handball from the Liverpool faithful behind that goal are waved away. 76th minutes, it's like-for-like alterations in the Reds lineup, with Milner slotting in at right back and Elliott getting into the play immediately simply ahead of him. For City, a Bernardo Silva effort loops over, but appeared to be dangerous. 74th minutes, changes on both sides. De Bruyne, who has had a bad afternoon, is off for Ilkay Gundogan. Klopp brings on James Milner and Harvey Elliott for Alexander-Arnold and Henderson. 72nd minutes, goal. VAR checks the goal and rules Foden to have been onside in the build-up. Alvarez makes his mark within 14 minutes, and we're all square. 70th minutes, Alvarez has the ball in the net, but it is ruled out. Foden steams in at the back post, and his first-time effort is stopped by Adrian, but the rebound is converted by the Argentinian new boy, solely to be pulled back for the England international's run. 64th minutes, Nunez with a huge chance. He latches onto an error and plays it first time to Henderson, who in return tees up the former Benfica man on the run. Nunez cannot carry it over Ederson, however, and the dream debut remains on ice. 59th minutes, drama for Nunez already. He takes on Ake one-on-one and bears down on goal before being brought down by Ederson after dragging his contact wide. However, rather of a penalty, the referee rightly pulls it back for offside instead. 58th minutes, new signing Julian Alvarez makes his City debut, coming on Mahrez. Phil Foden is on too, for compatriot Grealish. For Liverpool, Nunez gets the largest cheer of the day as he arrives in place of 54th minutes. Both sides having their moments early in this second period as it settles into a pretty even rhythm. Diaz is roaming to good effect, dropping deep and central at times to spray balls along the ground. Robertson is making headway in the space left down the left. 47th minutes. City start the second half on top as Rodri finds Mahrez with a lofted pass into the 6-yard box. The Algerian brings it under control, but his relatively weak effort is parried by Adrian. 46th minutes. We're back in action at the King Power. No substitutions at the interval. Halftime. It's 1-0, and the Reds are on course to win a third trophy of 2022. 45th minutes. The half finishes with Liverpool on the attack again, Thiago finding himself in acres of space on the break before playing in Salah, whose effort goes gratefully into the arms of Ederson. 41st minutes. Klopp is livid on the touchline as the referee fails to blow up for an Alexander-Arnold injury. The England international was clattered into by a charging Cancelo, but the City attack continued. 40th minutes. City have begun to slightly turn the screw as we approach half-time. It's been a good little spell from Guardiola's men, with the latest effort seeing Mahrez fire into Adrian's arms from the right. 34th minutes. Haaland gets away his first effort and scuffs his second. The hulking centre-forward shrugs off Robertson with ease before sliding a left-footed effort into Adrian, before the clearance is eventually put back into the 6-yard box by Bernardo Silva, but Haaland is unable to make a suitable connection in the air. It's a warning sign for Liverpool. 32nd minutes. Nunez is greeted by the Liverpool fans for the first time as he warms up in front of them, with a noise only beaten by the goal celebration so far. The Uruguayan will be licking his lips at the prospect of facing the City back line. Meanwhile, Henderson loses it with Alexander-Arnold in a similar area, bellowing at his right back after he gave away a needless foul. 25th minutes. Chance for City to equalize as Riyad Mahrez finds himself in lots of space just outside the Liverpool area, playing in De Bruyne. The Belgian's low effort goes just wide. At the other end, Henderson yet again breaks down the right, where City are actually struggling, but the move eventually falters with Roberto Firmino's effort. 21st minutes. Goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold opens the scoring for Liverpool. A Thiago ball reaches Salah on the right of the area, who lays it onto the right back, with his effort curling outwards onto the post and in. It took a slight glance off Ake on the way in, but looked to be heading on target regardless. 19th minutes. Ederson rescues City as Henderson capitalizes on an error down the league champions' left flank, with his tantalizing ball narrowly being deflected out of the onrushing Luis Diaz's path. 14th minutes. An Andy Robertson header at the back post is the latest Liverpool chance, with the Scot very nearly finishing off a patient Liverpool move. 12th minutes. As one would expect at this time of year, slightly miscued passes and terrible touches are the order of the day so far. Other than Thiago playing some predictably sumptuous balls, the execution is off all round, even if the energy isn't. 8th minutes. De Bruyne latches onto a loose ball in the final third and breaks into the box, with his left-footed strike deflected into the side netting by Van Dijk. 6th minutes. A very frenetic start here. De Bruyne's eyes light up as he spots a run through the pair of Liverpool centre-backs, but cannot quite squeeze it through, while at the other end, Salah cannot quite bring a lengthy ball under his spell, regardless of a pleasant first touch. Cue the curse of the commentator, but this is not ending goalless. 3rd minutes. Liverpool are feeling this early on. Salah breaks down the right, latching onto a lengthy ball and getting past Cancelo with ease. The Egyptian's effort goes into the side netting, though. 2nd minutes. Luis Diaz with the first half chance of the game, almost capitalizing as Rodri made a mess of clearing a Jordan Henderson cross. 2 minutes. Fans are in, players are out, trophies are on the pedestals. We're ready to go. Liverpool followers have drowned out the national anthem with boos once again, as was the case at Wembley last 15 minutes, reflecting on the back end of 2021-22, which saw him win the Premier League Golden Boot for a third time in 5 years, but miss out on the quadruple. Salah said in the program, "I always go into every season wanting to win the Golden Boot, and it is one of my favorite awards. But I would happily have given all the individual awards away last season, just to win the Premier League on the last day, and then the Champions League. That would have been brilliant, and I would have taken that 100%. 30 minutes. The stadium is beginning to fill up, and Liverpool fans, as is often the case as neutral venues, making the early noise. Haaland is out to boos from the travelling Reds, with a special ovation reserved for Mo Salah as he appeared on the big screens, having now signed a new contract. 40 minutes. Last term, the Community Shield was lifted by modern hosts, Leicester. Usually this game is played at Wembley, but the National Stadium is presently occupied with the Women's Euro 2022, as England prepare to take on Germany in tomorrow night's final. 50 minutes. Since Manchester United in 2010, the team winning the Community Shield has a very negative record and going on to win the Premier League. Only City, after defeating Chelsea 2-0 in 2018, have gone on to lift the title later that season. 1 hour team news is here. Haaland starts for City, but Nunez has only been named on the bench for Liverpool. 1 hour 15 minutes. Liverpool enter the new season having missed out on the Premier League title in agonizing fashion, but again, to City in May. Klopp has used his program notes here at the King Power to downplay any frustration, though our respect for this City team could not be higher. They arrive here as champions, and, though we can be pretty proud for pushing them all the way, they deserved their title, and now our job is to start the race all over again. 1 hour 30 minutes. For City, this represents only their third game of pre-season, the previous two being wins over Bayern Munich and Club America, in a summer which has seen some exciting changes to the squad. Haaland and Calvin Phillips have arrived, with several key departures including Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Alexander Zinchenko and Fernandinho. 1 hour 45 minutes. Liverpool have lost their last two Community Shield games, making this the only trophy Klopp is yet to lift as manager of the Reds. Most recently, as league champions, they fell to a penalty shootout defeat against Arsenal in 2020, after a year, before suffering the same fate versus today's opponents. Both ties ended 1-1. Thanks for watching this video.